for that, man. 2 minutes late, but it's fine. Because no one's here yet, so it's okay.
It's only 2 minutes, man.
Okay, we're live. We're ready. We're away. Good afternoon, anyone who's here yet.
Hello, guys. Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Stay Connected. I believe that the screen's telling me it's episode 16, apparently.
Yes, I think it is episode 16.
Supposedly. You'll have to let me know if the audio's any good. I've got a new filter on the mic because we're so posh.
Noise filter.
So I've got a filter to take out all of the grain and the bit of the buzzing and that was happening yesterday, apparently. So I'm told. So let me know. It might have filtered out my voice, which might be good. It might be bad. Who knows? How's it going, man? How you doing?
I'm good, dude. I went in Daydream because I put the stream on there and I was just watching the stream, but like listening to you separately because I had the stream muted. So I was just watching myself and I was thinking, that's so weird. It's such like an Inception kind of thing where you're like you're watching yourself from like 20 seconds ago. It's a weird feeling. It's
like a really bad time traveling it, right? Yeah. So we've got Charlotte and Lynn in the chat as well. So hi guys, good afternoon. Hopefully everyone's all right.
Hello.
I'm just having a coffee, so if you hear us doing a little bit of a slurp and that, I'm sorry.
Smashed like an iced coffee, like the quickest anyone's ever drank.
It's like into your eyeballs, just straight away. It's like,
good. I love them.
No prisoners.
Bought them in bulk.
I'm playing catch up with sleep anyway because I stayed up at the weekend to watch the UFC. Well, as much as I could. I didn't manage to make the main event, but
I stayed up for it, man, because obviously massive UFC fan and like. It's been so long since it's been any live sports, so it's just like I need to watch this.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, normally I wouldn't, and I was like, you know what? I haven't watched any live sport in about 8 weeks. I need to watch something.
I know.
Yeah, there's only so many like replays of football matches and boxing fights that I can watch. So I was like, screw it. Justin
Gaethje defeated Tony Ferguson's 12-fight unbeaten win streak in almost a decade of being unbeaten.
Yeah,
and
I see.
And
I watched the highlights the next day.
Same man. And do you know what it is? One of the main reasons is because he cut weight twice. Trying to show off Tony Ferguson, because obviously the fight got rescheduled and Justin Gaethje was like, I'm not going to cut weight for, obviously it's not happening. And Tony was like, I'm still cutting weight just to show that I can do it. And then the fight happened like 2 weeks later. He's obviously like depleted and it's shown in the fight, you know.
Yeah, of course. Happens, man. Yeah. It's a brutal sport for weight cutting. It's one of probably the worst, to be honest.
Don't know if you saw Conor McGregor's been going off it on Twitter. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't yet, but we can get into it because I've built in a little bit of a sport theme on this one because it's coming back. Cool. So Lynn saying, did you enjoy the cottage pie and chocolate cake? I actually haven't had my cottage pie. I'm going to have it for my tea because I brought a sandwich in today. So I'll let you know how I get on with that. But it looked very nice. And apparently you can watch the Faroe Islands football now. So
Wow.
I know Belarus have just been sort of like cracking on with the football as well. The Belarusian league's just been going on.
Yeah, Belarus never went in lockdown.
Yeah,
they haven't been in lockdown at all.
Loads of my mates have been betting on that because you can, if you put a bet on the game, even if it's for like 20 pence, you can watch the game like in the app.
Oh really?
Yeah, so loads of them have been watching that and like brushing up on it and that. Which is really sad. Just so you know, I think that's really sad.
When you know. Well, Bundesliga starts next week, doesn't it?
Daniel, you're ruining the news, man. I've got
sorry, mate. Sorry, bud.
So we've got a bit of a sporting angle today because I'm just like sick of not having any sport. So sorry if you're not interested in that. But no, I appreciate that, Lynn. We'll keep an eye out on the Faroe Islands. I wonder what it's even called.
On a separate note, like sports related, I've recently because I know we make like suggestions and stuff, things people can watch.
Yeah.
Well, on Netflix recently, I've been watching The Last Dance. Jordan.
Yeah, very good, very good.
God, so good. I'm like halfway through the second episode, but it's.
Oh really? I've watched 7 and I think 7 and 8 are the ones I've just watched. That just came out, and then next week the last 2 are out as well.
Yeah.
Very good. Even if you don't like basketball, very good documentary.
I mean, I like it. I'm not a massive fan though, but I was really enjoying that. Like,
definitely check it out if you've got Netflix anyway.
100%. Very well made. You know.
Oh, definitely. Really good. Like goes across loads of different time like scales and stuff. It's class. I guess we'll start with the more contentious and serious part of it, which is Idiot of the Week.
Yeah, I think it's the best way to do it like this.
We'll get it out of the way. So we're just gonna go straight. I've put it in the description this time, the links to the actual articles that we're talking about as well. Cool. If you guys want to read up and make your own minds up on it.
It's a good idea.
Like I say, let me know about my mic as well, because I'm sort of monitoring it now, but I might actually drop the volume a little bit.
On the Zoom call, at least, it seems fine to me.
We'll see. Let me know anyway, guys, and I'll adjust it accordingly. So first up, we've got our mate Boris Johnson and his message to the UK public. In his much anticipated address and his little video that he did.
Go outside. Don't go outside.
Yeah.
Go outside.
So the Matt Lucas version was quite good. It did make us laugh. So scientific experts condemn Boris Johnson for a confusing message amid second spike fears. So it was Dr. Ron Daniels, an intensive care consultant, and he said that most health professionals believe it is too risky to relax the lockdown right now because of the danger of a second wave of infection.
And it's just as well, like, I think obviously there's a lot of people saying, it's too early, and they're all definitely valid claims. But I think that one of the main issue that most of the public has was after the one on Sunday. It's a little bit clearer now, but on the one on Sunday, everyone the next day was like, what?
What do I do?
No one had any idea what he was talking about.
Yeah.
It was so unclear.
So that's basically it. It's also a troubling new message. It's the mixed messages and the inconsistent taglines with the rest of the UK as well. Given that England's known to have the vast majority of cases. One danger in announcing future intentions without a clear framework is that it promotes a message that the situation is now less serious. Bound to affect the subconscious and lead to people dropping their guard, and I think that's the main worry with the message that was put out there. I mean, there's a lot in there about the grey areas as well, right? So like the certain scenarios that you can and certain scenarios that you can't. I just think there possibly could have been a little bit more clarity, and I think as well the other issue I was thinking about, they didn't do them. They sort of shot themselves in the foot with the build up. Like they released a statement that they were going to release a statement. Before Sunday, I think it was on the Tuesday, they said, okay, we're going to make an announcement on Sunday, which then all the press did with that was take it and just run with it. And this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. And it was just an absolute nightmare for them. Because whatever he said on Sunday was never, ever going to live up to what was hyped up to be.
Exactly. And I mean, that's their mistake as well. They shouldn't have done that.
So that we'll not go too much into that one, but you can read it. So this is Dr. What was his name again? Ron Daniels, an intensive care consultant. That was his take on it. And there's a lot of concerns about the second spike and the mixed messages in terms of what's allowed and what's not. And you can read it a little bit more in depth in there. It makes some good points for and against. To be fair, it's a good article. To be honest, it's very fair and balanced.
And I think that you're gonna have. There's going to be a spike no matter what when you ease lockdown, because it's just going to happen. Yeah. But if you look at Germany's eased it now, and I mean they have I think they're like tripled, their fatalities have tripled, I think, since doing that. So it's kind of it needs to be done right.
There's a lot of other factors in there as well. I just think I was talking to a couple of mates about it, and a couple of them have different opinions to each other. And I think we can all agree. We can all agree that the waters are a bit murky in terms of the communication, and it hasn't been very clear what you can and can't do. And I think it needs to be a little bit more so, especially when it comes to things like, obviously what some people are saying is, well, if you're letting a contractor into your home to do work, then that's boosting the economy. But there was a lot of mixed messages around who you can meet up at the park with and who you can go for a walk with or play tennis with, or sport was mentioned, and I think that there was just there's certain things that were mentioned there was just no need to bring into the equation yet. So I think it was just a weird one, to be honest, and I sat on Sunday night a little bit like, well, I don't really know what this means, to be honest. And there's a lot of people having to go at each other, well, it's just common sense and this, that and the other, and I think
it's not.
You kind of just say that when you're the government. You kind of just say, oh, well, it's just common sense. Just apply common sense, because common sense to me means something completely different to someone else.
It's just and Matthew Moon's quoting the Matt Lucas there.
Yeah.
Go outside, don't go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me.
And the public transport thing as well. Where, don't get public transport. But if you live somewhere like in a small village, in there's the likes of Durham, you're not going to be able to cycle to work if you work in like Newcastle. Like it's not realistic. A couple hours to get there probably.
I know. Exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But yeah, that's why he's there, just in case anyone was not wondering.
And I mean, last thing on that, because obviously we don't need to spend too much time on it. But just as you were saying there, mate, like, and then all the people who have childcare, it's like, what are they going to do? Are their kids going to be counted as kids that are going to, be key workers? And it's like. But then there could be a massive influx if it's all of manufacturing, all of construction. Yeah. Then they're still not opening the schools, so it starts to get a bit confusing as well. I
did just as a little add-on to that read an article by the report that got published saying that kids can't transmit the disease. That's not what they were saying. What they were saying is they're not the key contributing factor to transmitting it, but they can't get it because of the lack of receptors, but they can still transmit the virus, but at a much. The results suggest that it's at a lower rate than from adult to adult.
Yeah.
Which I do have a link to that somewhere. But it is what it is. We'll see. It'll all come out in the wash, hopefully. We're going stateside for this one. So it's Tesla workers. Unemployment may be suspended if they don't return. Emails show. So this is Elon Musk trying to force back the workers against the county guidelines. And I believe, I don't know if where is it? He tweeted, didn't he? His infamous tweet. Anyway, in an email sent to employees announcing the factories will reopen, workers were told, if you do not feel comfortable coming to work, you can stay at home and will be on unpaid leave. Choosing not to report to work may eliminate or reduce your eligibility for unemployment depending on your state unemployment agency. So basically, come back to work even though the county said not to, and if you don't, you're not getting paid and you're possibly getting sacked. Is the takeaway from that?
Yeah. So he's going against the county's rules. Yeah. As they said, you guys shouldn't do this, and he's still doing it. And then the people that work for Tesla, if they refuse, then they face the potential to not be able to receive unemployment payment, so it's like, they could even be suspended. So it's really
there's his tweet just for hang on, I'm not on the oh my god, what an idiot, I'm not on the screen.
It's fine,
I haven't had Chrome open, we've just been talking about it. That's the article there. So Tesla workers unemployment may be suspended if they don't return, email show. This is the chunk of the email. Where's it gone? Yeah. If you do not feel comfortable coming into work, you can stay at home or will be on unpaid leave. Choosing not to report work may eliminate or reduce your eligibility for unemployment, depending on your state's unemployment agency. So they're saying they might not even be able to get benefits because Tesla will be saying they basically quit. There's his tweet there. So Tesla is restarting production today against Alameda County rules. I'll be on the line with everyone else. If anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. I don't think he really knows, how the world works. Sometimes it's a strange tweet. I think he's just trying to get out ahead of it. But to be honest, the whole Tesla scandal at the moment, it's not looking good for Elon Musk in terms of. I think he's going to land in a bit of hot water when the government finally get round to processing whatever he's done. I imagine he's going to be fined at some point.
Definitely.
Even just for breaking these rules in this particular instance. It's not great. Anyway, you shake it, really forcing people back to work when they don't necessarily feel comfortable.
Definitely. I mean, this is a bit of my own opinion here, so obviously...
Opinion alert.
Opinion alert. But I just think that he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, so he thinks that he just doesn't... He's like, I know this... I'm not a virologist, but I know this situation better than anyone else, so I'm going to decide what's best. It's like, you have to listen to people. It's not how society works. Just because you're one of the leading innovators and stuff, and give him credit for all of the innovations that he's done, he still has to. He's still a member of society. He's still a person. He's not above anybody else. So
I mean, he's a genius, but I think sometimes he doesn't. He doesn't have a filter at times.
Exactly.
And this, to be totally honest, he's been idiotic due to this tweet here. I think this has got a lot more. The actual article and the email and the policies got a lot more to do with the company.
Yeah,
it can't just be Elon Musk. No. It has to be. That has to be a collective decision from the board and everyone else. He couldn't have just gone, right, okay, we're going to sack anyone who's not coming in. I don't believe for a second that's happened. But I think this week he's definitely been an idiot. He's exactly. worthy. He's worthy this week, I think.
Totally. Matthew said something interesting there in the chat. He said, I remember 3 years ago he tweeted, if he ever goes against science, then we should disregard him.
Yeah.
There you go, right?
Because he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and not to dwell on that because that was another issue, but he was talking about the mortality rate of it. And I think people need to, people like Elon Musk need to work out what the stance is on it, because is he going to take the scientific approach and say, okay, well, it's a lot worse and we need to wait and analyse the data before we just reopen everything? Or is he going to take the approach of, oh, well, it's not as bad as they were saying, so science be damned, I'm going to do what I want? I think it's as simple as that, really. I think a lot of people need to decide that. A lot of people in business as well need to decide where they come down on it.
Exactly.
And the government need to obviously be the same and decide what's best. Put some rules in place. Speaking of the government, anyway, so we've got Donald Trump walks out of coronavirus briefing after clash with Asian American reporter. I'm going to preface this and say that I think I watched the footage. I've watched the video about 4 times now. I don't think he said it to her because she was Asian. I really don't.
Do you know what it is?
I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit unfair. Yeah. To be fair, and not that it matters, but I feel like this, especially in the States, I've seen a lot of articles from the American outlets making a big point that she was Asian, and I don't think he did it because she was Asian.
Yeah. Well, they put it in the headline.
I think they're playing on it a lot, to be honest.
Of course, but I think as well, like. I totally agree with you, dude. I don't think he said it because she's Asian, because he says it all the time.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He would have. He said it to a few reporters, like the famous one, because it started in China when he leaned into the mic and stuff. So he's been saying it, but this is the problem when you go around saying things like that. It sort of catches up with you sometimes in instances like this.
Exactly, but like. You can't just walk out in a press conference.
Yeah, of course you can't.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously we haven't, I'm giving stuff away here before we even show the article, but like, he still has to take the questions and he has to answer responsibly as the president. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And you can't just brush it off, and that's what he did. So
So Donald Trump abruptly ended his coronavirus press briefing on Monday after getting into a testy exchange with an Asian American reporter. Who'd asked him, I don't know how to say her name. Maybe you can help us with that one.
Wen Jiajiang.
There you go. Daniel speaks very good Chinese, so that is helpful.
In Chinese, it would be Jiang Wenjia.
Yeah.
Jiang Weijia. As a Weijia, it's Weijia. Okay,
I don't know.
Jiang Weijia.
I need to help.
But obviously, the way that we have in the West, the way that we use our names is that we have the family name second, and we have the first name, the given name first, but it's the other way around in China. So in Chinese it would be Jiang Weijia, but in the West it's Wei Jiajia.
So there you go. A little bit of a cultural lesson there. So she asked Mr. Trump why he continued to insist that the US was doing better than other countries when it came to testing for the virus. And she was asking, why does it matter? It's not a global competition, especially when Americans are still dying, losing their lives everywhere in the world. Mr. Trump replied, and maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? And she sort of, you can see in the video, she sort of pauses for a second. She's like, well, why did you say that to me specifically? Implying it was due to our race. And you said it was a nasty question. He often accuses him of being nasty and whatever.
I know. It's like he has that kind of way of speaking that it's at such a like elementary reading level.
Childish, I would say.
It's just like, that's nasty.
But even more childish, like if it wasn't already proof of that, he went on, he tried to point to another reporter who was basically like, I'm just going to let her finish. I wonder if the video's on there actually. Hang on.
Yeah. That's where it gets bad in my opinion as well.
So I'll quickly play the video.
Many times that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty question.
Please go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two questions.
No, it's okay.
But you pointed to me. I have two questions, Mr. President.
Next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the young lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague finish.
Okay.
But can I ask you
Ladies
a
and
question,
gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, so yeah, you don't quite see. There's like the video that I watched was like a really sad sort of walk that he did off. Like he was like really upset. He just sort of like shoulders were slumped and he just sort of like ran away. But yeah, I mean, either way, you can disagree with that all you want, but I think to just storm out is just, like I say, childish out there.
I know. Yeah, it really is.
Not great. So yeah, that's why Trump's been included in that.
Mm-hmm.
More from storming off than anything he said in particular, I think.
Yeah, it's as you said as well, mate. The bit where it gets embarrassing for me is when the other person goes to ask a question and he points to her, but he changes his mind.
Yeah,
he's like, no, not you, not you.
Because he knew that she was gonna sort of like not join in, but sort of just let her finish, and he didn't want that. So he's very susceptible to criticism, I think, which is unfortunate for him anyway. Quick catch up with the chat. So I think Charles just saying Boris Johnson waffled on for 15 minutes into absolute confusion. Could have spent 5 minutes saying what he had to say. Yeah, I agree. I think the message itself was largely okay. I think the way it was presented was a massive mess.
I agree.
Lynn saying, and if you need to go to work, well, you still have to get on a tube with loads of folk. And yeah, well, exactly. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
I've seen a lot of people online having a go at people saying, well, it's obviously common sense and you need to take some responsibility. And I think, well, there's so many grey areas and things that weren't covered that it's impossible to just apply common sense. Doesn't really wash with me like at all. I did see that picture. There was a picture as well, Charlotte, of the tube on. I think it was Monday morning. And it was basically like it was back to normal.
Wow.
I love tennis, but tennis, golf, and fishing still a wee bit posh. Can two mates not kick a football to each other in a park at a distance? That's the other thing as well. I mean, yeah, in theory, but I don't know how it'll work if everyone has that idea. Because if everyone goes to the park with 2 or 3 of you to kick a ball around, like
a lot of people,
we're going to be crammed in at a close location as well.
Yep.
What else we got? 3 years. Yeah, it's around about the Elon tweet as well. Minimum wage job situation, morning boss, I feel uncomfortable. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the other thing. I've seen a couple of people quoting the Health and Safety Act as well, saying that if you do have the right to not go into work if you deem it to be endangering your health in any way. Definitely worth looking into things like that, and hopefully there's we'll try and hunt some legal advice on things like that as well.
You should know your rights, isn't it? So,
So, well, it might not be much of a consolation, but we have Boris rather than Trump. Yeah, I mean, you cannot win them all, can you?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have Boris in the current circumstance.
I agree with you, man.
The lesser of two evils than Trump.
Matthew asked, do you know Chinese? Yeah, I do know Chinese. Yeah.
You're supposed to answer in Chinese, Daniel.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do that, but yeah.
Okay, next time. It has a woman problem. Trump has a woman problem. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely suggest that. I think it's definitely plausible. But yeah, anyway, moving on from all that negativity, those 3 idiots are there. All the links to those articles are in the description. So if you think we're wrong, have a look. To be fair to all the articles as well, they take quite a unbiased stance on it, and they do sort of talk about all the different things as well. Anthony saying he took advantage of the new unlimited exercise rule today with a walk from Jarrett to Shields and back. So good on you, man. Hopefully you're not too knackered after that. We've got some good news now. instead.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever that was for 23 minutes.
Flies over, man.
First of all, we've got... and then the headlines disappeared now. From Hong Kong to New Zealand, Hawaii and Montana, officials celebrate no new cases of COVID-19.
Yeah, so I think New Zealand had like second day in a row without any cases. So I think that, and Hawaii has reported no cases. Montana, obviously a bit of a weird one, but they reported no cases. And I think Hong Kong as well. But I'm not sure how consistent it would be, but it's promising to see that it is, working in places.
That's possible to have no new cases on any given day, which is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge cities like Hong Kong, that was hard hit by the pandemic. Yes, apparently it's one of the most densely populated on Earth. 28 days as of Monday without recirculation of the virus within the country. The last new case was reported on April 20th. Again, I think the Prime Minister of New Zealand was touching on that one when they were saying it doesn't mean there's none in the community. What it means is that if there is any new ones, that they're better able to track it because they've got adequate testing and stuff. So yeah, it's better. Hope yet. I think New Zealand, did they not? The door just sort of cracked open by itself. That was a bit weird. That was a bit spooky. The New Zealand was sort of a bit more strict as well, weren't they, in the beginning, and now they're sort of coming out of it. So, like I say, light at the end of the tunnel. It's a good one.
They pushed the lockdown pretty early, so and it seemed to work for them. So,
just quickly reading through it to see if I've missed anything.
It was pretty straightforward. Yeah, as you say, like just it's a good example of some of these places not having any cases. I mean, it's hopeful news.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, they're talking about further relaxing the restrictions, but being very hesitant, which is what we should be doing and hopefully will be doing. So, next up, we've got a link that'll load if I click it enough times. There we go. A 113-year-old woman who had the Spanish flu as a child becomes world's oldest person to survive the coronavirus.
Yeah, just keeping up with our usual theme. I mean, I was thinking that we've reported on enough older people getting coronavirus and surviving it, but this is the oldest person who has survived it. So I thought
a new record.
Special. Yeah, new record. I think that this was a special exception because of just this person's age. 113 years old. So I mean, living that long in itself is difficult enough, and then to get coronavirus at that age, I mean, that's something else. So
yeah, I mean, to survive the Spanish flu was pretty good as well because medicine at the time not hot, not so great.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I doubt there was any of the stuff that we've got now to kind of help any of the kind of equipment that they would have had back then. I guess it would have been a lot more like not the best.
It's you've done well to survive them both, definitely. There she is, I think. The local authority in Spain must have tweeted it out. She reported according to available information. She's the oldest. So according to the information available, she's the oldest survivor in the world of coronavirus. So yeah, it's just going into Spain's case. Suffered more than 227,000 cases. It's a bit more of the stats further down. And then some nice graphs and stuff you look at that make you feel worse. So we'll not look at them. That's good.
Is that I mean...
next one is the takeaway one.
This one's a good one. Bit of local news. It's always good to mix up a bit of local news.
I think Lisa sent us this one.
She did. Yep.
So a new Sunderland Takeaway has opened its doors with a free meal offer to thank Wearside's NHS, care home and emergency workers at the front line of the healthcare crisis. So this was posted on Saturday. So about 30,000 quid has been invested in the former Indian style takeaway on Barnes Roundabout to turn it into the Delhi Emperor. It will be open for business to the general public on the 13th, which is today, actually, coincidentally, for collection and delivery only. So yesterday, on the 12th of May, it was giving away free meals to any NHS care home and frontline emergency service workers. And it run from 5 p.m. All workers do is turn up and collect their stuff. So we'll keep an eye out for that, because we might there might have been an update story on that to see how they got on. But
and it's great, you know, to kind of support the NHS and the care workers as well. So I think it's good that I think it's so important to support the NHS. I think that's absolutely brilliant, and people who've been doing that. Yeah. Good on them. But I think including the care workers as well. Not all of these kind of events that people have done haven't always included the care workers. So I think do that as well. I think that's great, because I think that the care workers have been stretched quite a bit during this crisis. They probably came into contact with people who have it. There's nothing they can do about it. Well, I've heard of anecdotal stuff, but I've heard of people who've had to work with people who have coronavirus, but just because they have no choice, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if they're given PPE and so on, but it's like that's part of their job, and tough, man.
I mean, a lot of people have just had it sort of thrust upon them, and that's it. Deal with it. So, Takeaway is owned by Sunderland restaurateur Khaled Meyer, who also owns Mumbai Silk in the basement of Wearside Masonic Temple in Ashbrook, and the Mumbai Emperor in South Shields, which I've been to, and it's actually very nice. So he said, I've lived in Sunderland for 50 years and have had businesses here for 45 years. Through my role as chairman at Sunderland Bangladesh International Centre, we do a lot in the community, and I can see all the good work being done by our key workers. This is our way of giving something back. So that's great, and definitely want to check out if you like Indian food, because they do some nice food.
Yeah, I mean, I love Indian food, so I'll put that on my list there.
Yeah. The opening comes as the Sunderland Echo is running our Support Local campaign aimed at promoting the amazing things our local businesses are doing at difficult times. Other independents such as Fulwell Butchers have also reported on an increase in trade during lockdown, which is good, because obviously you want the local economy to keep ticking over, because as things open back up, we're going to need, shops and takeaways and all the rest of it.
Man. So exactly, it's good.
Good stuff. I definitely like takeaways and all.
As you're saying, dude, this is he's like a gem in Sunderland, right? He's had businesses for 50 years there, so it's good to see someone like that succeed. Obviously, they've invested so much of their life into the community, so I think that's obviously awesome. Yeah.
Lynn's just asking Anthony if he's a new Jaro Arrow, and he said, yeah, because he did that video. If anyone's seen it,
classic.
I think she meant the Jaro Arrows in Steve Cram though, but never mind. Yeah. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the unrestricted access to exercise outside, and hopefully we'll get a bit more clarity as what we can do in due course. I think this one, I take it this is Jack Dorsey. Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't read this one, but there he is. Man.
I think that it was cool because it was linked in with the Elon Musk thing. It's like kind of like the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think. Obviously, go on, mate.
Obviously, the thing with Twitter is they can obviously quite easily work from home.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean.
However,
very good point.
However, he didn't have to do this, so
exactly.
I think
that's very true. That's very true.
He's going to be like the sort of bastion for what the government and what the health officials and scientists are saying is anyone who can work from home for a prolonged period should. And a company as big as Twitter getting behind that is going to encourage the smaller businesses,
definitely,
and the smaller traders to do exactly that, which is good. You've got to look to like your tech giants to set examples, otherwise no one's going to follow them. If Twitter turned around and said, oh no, we need everyone back in, people would be like, well, Twitter can do it, they've got how many 1,000 employees, I'm going to do it.
I've been like obviously we've it's not the first time we've featured Jack Dorsey. Obviously we featured him
in all his glory, for anyone who doesn't know. So CEO of Twitter, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know.
Obviously, we featured him semi-recently because he was donating $1 billion into coronavirus efforts, and then that app was going to have a lifetime beyond that, and it was going to be developed into education and for health purposes. So, so I think that this is really cool, as we said, and obviously Hafer made a very good point there. Although we were critical on Elon Musk, you've got to think as well. Manufacturing is very, very, very different to like a digital tech company. and their ability to work remotely. So there is a big difference there. So I think that's definitely a point worth making. But
I think the problem with Elon Musk is he just seems to have little to no regard for his workers.
Definitely. Oh, well,
it's just even when you listen to him talking, you listen to him being interviewed, he talks about them as if they're not human beings. Like, it's like, well, the virus is this and the virus is that, and it's like, but that's not how it works. It's transmission to their family and their friends and their circles in between them, and with no, like, he might have all the plans in the world in place, but he's not being very vocal about them. And he just, like I say, seems to have shown little to no regard for the people he employs, which is the most worrying thing about him. For me, anyway. I mean, again, opinion alert.
No, it's a good point. I think it's very good, and obviously, we spoke about that, but I totally agree with what you're saying, dude.
So anyway, an email first obtained by BuzzFeed, Dorsey said it was unlikely that Twitter would open its offices before September. All in-person events would be cancelled for the remainder of the year. The company will assess its plans for 2021 later. He's staying there. We were uniquely positioned to respond quickly to allow folks to work from home, given our emphasis on decentralization and supporting distributed workforce capable of working from anywhere. So decentralization means they don't just have a Twitter HQ where all the servers are and all the workers are. It's spread out across the country, and it's safer and better that way as well.
No, it sounds like it. Yeah, it's something we were talking about. Last week with the tech news when you were saying there was just one server for the.
Oh, we've got a big boring update coming on that, so don't you worry about that.
Awesome.
Jack Dorsey telling everyone they can work from home. Very good. Hopefully, all the tech companies, the likes of Facebook, and all the rest of them, game developers and stuff, can follow suit. Hopefully, we'll see how it comes out. And last little bit on the good news. 1.6 million people have now recovered from COVID-19, and this is the worldometer, or worldometer.
So it's obviously something I've checked for out. I stopped doing it because it wasn't good for me. But it's a bit because it's a bit obsessive if you do too much, I think. But
good source of stats though.
Good source of stats, definitely. Good source of stats, definitely. But obviously when you look at it, it's a bit kind of intimidating because you see all of like these countries and how much coronavirus they have. But just to see the number of people that have recovered from it, and like to look at that, and you can see that there's a lot of people who've recovered from it now. So it's kind of just to put it in perspective a little bit.
And this is using United Nations data as well, right? Just to clarify, just as a little snippet down here, they're not just making it up. It's based on the United Nations Geoscheme. It's also provided under latest updates, so you can get a list of sources if you are thinking, well, that's not true. There is a space to vet that, which I think is really good, and I'd like to see a lot more websites do that, because how many graphs have you seen over the past 8 weeks and thought, well, that might be true, it might not be. That's a nice, green line or red line, but I don't really know what it means. Definitely want to check out. Seems to be quite a well-sourced and well-researched bit of information, and you can view it by country, and it's all. What's nice about this one, it's all on one page, so you don't have to go to a different page. It's all there. So if you want to know how many cases there were in Guadeloupe, you can see the total cases, the new cases, and the total deaths, if you like. And you can also scroll down to where the updates are. And someone's trying to sabotage this, so hang on.
Is that an autoplay? Or was that Alexa, maybe? I think that might have been Alexa, guys. Was that Alexa?
Someone's just fiddling on with Alexa. I think it's Captain.
The AI.
He likes
turning against us.
He likes to talk to her and that while he's doing his work on the kitchen, which we're getting fitted. I could just say, Alexa. He's trying to be like posh because it doesn't understand him. He's putting on like his proper accent. Oh, I think that's Dan Machiavelli or whatever.
Sounds like there's a bit of music going on in the background there, guys. Yeah.
Anyway,
some tunes.
Without the country music, because we don't want to get copyright striked again.
I think that happened to us, didn't it?
The two bald men in the office. Well, the three bald men in the office have all decided that they're all child. Just complete children now.
Do you not feel a bit left out that you're not bald? Or?
No, I'm glad it's cold.
Oh yeah, fair.
It's very cold today, so having hair, massive upside.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, what we got? We've got, for any of the eagle-eyed sports fans out there, you've probably seen that the Bundesliga is returning. So anyone wanting to watch live football will be able to watch some live football. Thank God for that.
That's the one.
So there's an article here in the Telegraph. This one
is the first game. It's the first game's a big one. Is it Dortmund? Dortmund's on the first game, right?
Dortmund. So there's the schedule there.
Brilliant.
Let's make sure I've got that on stream. 16th. So that's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday 2:30.
Yeah.
There's 5 games on.
Cracking.
5. Yeah. So Dortmund Schalke, a very decent game to watch.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Then there's a late game on 5:30, and then Sunday there is 3 games on. So I think that's a full round of matches.
Nice, man.
BT Sport have got the exclusive rights to that. But I think you can buy a pass for BT Sport.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna quickly Google it now.
Hoffenheim.
Yeah, you can. You can buy a BT Sport one. I think I believe as well, they put the highlights out on the YouTube channel as well, as far as I know. So one to look out for. And then there's just a little recap if anyone's interested on that article about what the state of the league is at the minute. But I think it'll just be good to see some top level action again. They've been sort of training in like isolation, so they've had their own like hotels and stuff like right next to the stadiums and that, which has been quite good. Good to see. I think the Premier League's got a plan to start up again using like a similar sort of tactic. Yeah, Mr. Worldwide is trying to get on the streams again. Matthew, he's just he just wants to be famous. That's all it is. He loves being on camera and that. So yeah, we've got Bundesliga coming back. I think the Premier League's on about coming back next month, doing this. Basically, I think what they're doing is seeing what the German league's doing, and then they're just going to copy it, which is fine.
Yeah. So it's obviously without audience as well. Like
it's basically I think they're going to have rigorous testing and completely isolated conditions, so they'll all be staying away from home for the duration of the season, however long it takes to finish it.
And then, Gareth Bale's obviously slated to go to Newcastle.
Well, that's definitely happening. Tato hasn't happened yet, so we'll see what happens.
Give me a guess.
So, just a quick recap on that. I know we mentioned the UFC at the start as well. There's just the schedule there, so there's a bunch of UFC on. If you want to watch,
there's one on tonight.
There's
UFC on tonight.
So if you want to watch some sweaty people, I was going to say blokes, but there's a lot of there's been a few.
Yes, dude.
In fact, is there not a main event coming up?
Listen to this. One little quick thing about the UFC, right? The UFC is an incredibly violent sport, absolutely, but it is one of the most inclusive sports in the world, right? And it is, I think, the first major sport to feature 2 openly gay female athletes as a main event.
Yeah.
And, so that's, and it sold a lot of tickets as well. So there you go. That's
I think, to be fair, you're right. I think it's very, the place is very little, like controversy on things like that. Like they're not bothered. Yeah. it's just
if you're a good athlete, then that's it.
Especially compared to things like football, where there is no openly gay footballers.
Exactly.
Well, I have no doubt there are gay footballers. None of them are openly gay. That's the that's the thing. So that's on ESPN Plus. I don't know. Some of them will be pay-per-view. Some of them won't be. If you happen to come across them any other way, that's your business. But yeah, there's UFC on. If you've never watched it, I'd would maybe give it a try if you can get access to it. BT in this country, right? BT box office.
Yeah. BT, well, not even box office. BT Sport 1, BT Sport 2, probably most of the time. Occasionally BT box office.
Yeah. So if it's a bigger fight, it's on box office pay-per-view. But if it's not, it's just on that
1 or 2.
So keep an eye out on that. And again, highlights go up online quite often as well. If you're just looking to catch the highlights rather than the live show.
Exactly.
Definitely worth checking out. Quick one. I'm gonna quickly gloss over this because I can't be bothered to talk about it. To be honest, I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of talking about it. It's just one of them things. The NHS did a whoopsie today. Was it today? Yeah, today. And they accidentally leaked a bunch of sensitive information regarding the track and trace app.
Oh, wow.
So they'd stored a bunch of stuff on Google Drive. So they'd hosted documents on Google Drive were inadvertently left open for anyone with the link to view. Links to the document were included in others published by the NHS covering the privacy protections in the contact tracing app. Basically, what it did is it outlined. The slide also stated that the app could enable the NHS and strategic leaders to add contact events and notification patterns in response to new guidelines and control the flow of patients. So one slide, which appeared to be half finished, details what may be included in the next version of the app. Collect self-reported data from public, like postcode, demographic information, co-location status. So when you've been nearby someone, that's what that means. To enable more effective resource planning of the NHS. So basically, it was the planned update. So when it first launches, it's going to be recording who you've been close to via Bluetooth, and the next phase could be some of the more identifying information. Yeah. Which they've been pretty sketchy on what would be collected and what wouldn't. But this seems to suggest that it might be more identifiable information, like your postcode and like your actual location and address and things like that.
I think it's interesting as well, mate, because after you said about the GDPR concerns of this, and then for them to do something as like basic and clumsy as to like have just like an open Google Drive link like that, it's just like, it just shows it, doesn't it? It's like, I don't know what else to say apart from just, like, have a read of this article, to be honest, and see what you think, because there is definite pluses to having the app. It's de-trusting with your information, it boils down to, and based on them not being able to secure a Google Drive document, no, not really, for me. But again, you get people who will volunteer the data so they know exactly what they're signing up to. What I would say is that's fine, that's great, and we appreciate that. This app, to be successful, people have to download it. What I would do before downloading an app like this and before giving you data to it is I would definitely do a bit of research on it to see what's being taken and where it's being stored. Read some reviews, have a little skim through the privacy policy to see what's being stored where, definitely, before you get involved with any kind of thing like this. It needs to be beta tested, right? Are they going to
Well, they are. It's being tested in the Isle of Wight at the moment.
Oh, wow.
This article is massive and has a lot of information. A lot of it's very good, and they're saying it will be useful for epidemiology purposes. If people are willing to offer us not just the anonymous proximity contacts, but the location of where they took place. So obviously then they know where the bigger outbreaks are likely to be. They've noted other problems, like what if people are, I think it's malicious data that we're talking about, and I know Matthew asked about this one last week.
I think I remember that.
These risks include high risk of accidental or malicious data poisoning, a lack of confidence in the app, which could result in people not continuing to use it. So people either being overly dramatic and saying that they've got symptoms when they don't, or people deliberately saying they've got symptoms when they don't, which would then lead to more people being warned about it. All concerns, all things that are being worked out during the rollout. We'll see.
I know that's the thing.
I'm very sceptical at the moment. That's all I'm saying.
Because if someone was lying about it, I don't know why they would, but how would they be able to prove otherwise? It's I don't know. It seems a bit tricky.
Definitely. Quick catch up. So Lindsay and Sancho and Haaland would be good to watch. Definitely. So if you're looking to watch those two, check out a Dortmund game. Sol Campbell quit before coming out. Did Sol Campbell ever? I don't know if he did come out. He might have, Anthony. I'm not sure. I know there was rumours for a long time.
I didn't know.
Lynn saying she watched the sad interview the other week with John Fashion, who admitted he had paid brother a large amount of money to keep silent. I know that. I mean, that there's a couple of documentaries on that, I think, and that is a really sad situation. And I think
it's really sad.
Football's got a long way to come with regards to stuff like that. Definitely, it's getting better, but it's got a long way to go, I think. Back to this. So it's disturbing that recording and sharing geolocation data is still in scope for later versions of the app. Very intrusive, would likely remove any notional privacy afforded by the app, as data would be easily re-identifiable. The way that information is being dripped out on dead news days, accidentally released or supplied when things are too late is frankly undermining the trust in the app and the data collection practices surrounding it. I think there is massive concerns.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like I say, people seem to be on this and rigorously combing through it. So I think there's hopefully going to be a lot of valid information out there, whether it's safe or not. And for now, watch this space. It's not available anyway at the minute, so it's not a massive priority. It's just, I think, definitely worth having in your mind, because I think at some point the NHS and the government are going to push it big time, and it's good to be clued up on it.
No, definitely, yeah. And
watch this space.
Yeah, I think you're right there, dude.
And now, to be totally lighthearted and not boring at all, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are set to have a remaster.
Yeah, I saw something about this actually. Yeah, I mean, both 2 games of my childhood.
Yeah.
Some of the first games I ever played.
So everybody on a PlayStation early on, going to be very, very reminiscent of that.
Definitely.
I think it's a direct remaster as well, so it's the same game with updated graphics.
So down for that.
Which is really good.
Well, I think that the one of the Resident Evil 2 remaster,
I think it was
which was
2,
out last year,
yeah.
that got like Game of the Year, I think, for like a lot of stuff. So and it looked really good. I played a little bit of it.
Let's get that. So it was PlayStation 1, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
High definition format. It's probably easy to imagine Activision already did this.
Yeah, it could be one of those like cool games as well, because I don't know if they're not adding too much to it. It could just be like you download it straight away from the Xbox store, the PS store, 20 quid or something, and I could see that totally being a thing. So
yeah. So they're on about the creator. There was like the creator track mode, like a. Where is this? Where's it called? Creator Park, cool. Sorry, that you can create your own stuff and that. And then what probably do is bring it to a new generation of like
definitely
gamers.
Definitely. I mean, I'm totally
good game,
about
really
this.
good game, fun.
Yeah,
really fun.
I'm totally about this, like bringing these old games back, because I think that when they get, because the thing is that these games and already have like such a good story in them, but the platform that they were built on was good for the time, but it's evolved so much. So to bring it back, it introduces them to a new audience, like you said, and then 2, it also lets you relive a bit of your childhood. So
definitely. Perfect time to bring it out as well. Everyone needs a bit of a distraction, I think. So just slide a bunch of games in there, and then people will buy them. So it's fine.
I recently we bought Streets of Rage 4, which has just came out.
David was on about it on Monday. He said it's all he's been playing.
Oh, it's so fun, because it's just like, obviously Streets of Rage 1, 2, massive, like on the Sega games that I loved, and being able to play Streets of Rage 4. Also, with my roommates, just couch co-op, and it's so fun, man. Just like and it's just straight side scrolling beat 'em up. Yeah, very, very easy.
Old school sort of vibes.
Tune in and out. Yeah.
Anthony's saying he just got Modern Warfare to play cross-platform. So yeah, that's the free version of Call of Duty. I had a couple of people ask about that because they're on about downloading it. So that's Call of Duty Warzone. If anyone's bored in the house and's got a game console or gaming PC, I would definitely give it a go. It's not the greatest game I've ever played, but it's all right.
There's a new season on Apex Legends as well. Looks pretty good.
That's free as well, right?
Yeah, Season 5's just came out on Apex Legends.
If you can get a game for free, it's always worth trying it.
Definitely.
Yeah, Charlotte's saying there's going to be a lot of problems with this app. It'll be compatible with all the versions of iOS, Android, and turn on about, because I always switch my phone. Yeah, so the compatibility issues and the technology issues and the battery and the tracking and all of it at the minute is all up in the air. What I will say is there's that much scrutiny on it. I don't think the government would dare release an app that isn't ready, because it wouldn't last, and nobody would use it, which is what they need. They need people on board. So I think we're lucky in that respect that we have a lot of eyes on it, and a lot of scrutiny on it from experts as well, and that's what we need, because not everyone knows every single aspect and how to keep everything safe and secure. So I think they'll get there. I just think at the minute I'm very skeptical.
Rightly so, man.
We'll see, and I'll keep you updated on that the best I can without putting you to sleep. So yeah, that's pretty much it. From that, what I am going to do is I'm going to ring the old survey alarm.
Here you go. It's my premiere of it. It's already been shown once, but this is my first time seeing it. So
yeah, we'll play it again. Go on, you can have it again. And I'll post a link to the survey in the chat. and now no one can hear us now because they're now like massively deaf. There you go. There's a link to the service. So if you could fill that in for us, that would be really helpful. As always, you know the score by now.
Yeah, let's go, guys.
Get that filled in for us, please. Take about 30 seconds. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we missed out, and if there's any sources of good news that you found. If there's anything you want to talk about in terms of topics. Obviously, you've touched on sport a little bit today. If you found any sporting stories or any weird sort of like sports that you want to try when you go back, like, I don't know, curling or darts, like with, I don't know,
water polo.
No, not darts. What's the one? Like, I've seen someone doing, like, throwing them at a dartboard, like the throwing knives.
The axes.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Love that now.
The axe throwing and the knife throwing and stuff. Yep. You can pay to go and do it once they open back up. That'll be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, Matthew, that was on one volume, just so you know. That was the lowest possible volume I could play it at. So yeah, if everyone's deaf, not sorry, worth it. What?
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, cool. What else have we missed? We have not put it in there, but I will put it in there so it's in the description. The supplementary learner information, which has a bunch of information from funders, stuff about safeguarding, and a bunch of that stuff. If anyone's worried about that at the moment, I know there's a lot of information out there, but you don't necessarily know where to get it. There's some information in there, but from Northumbria Police and stuff as well. So I will make sure that's updated in the description of the video at my earliest convenience, which will be right now. Did we miss anything, Daniel? Am I missing something?
No, there's just virtual wellbeing tomorrow with me and Mel. That is 1 to 5. That is the last session of the virtual wellbeing, so stay tuned for that, guys. And then on Friday, we have from 10 to 12, we have my first video editing class, guys, and that's going to run for 5 sessions. So if you would like to get started with a bit of video editing, guys, we are going to be using HitFilm Express. It is a free software. I'm going to run when we do the first stream. I'm going to show you guys how to download it, how to install it, and so on. But if you wanted to download it ahead of time, that's totally fine. It's HitFilm Express. And yeah, you just go straight on the website, and it's pretty straightforward how to download. But if not, like I said, we're going to run through it on the session, so don't worry.
And when was that? Sorry, Friday morning.
Friday 10 to 12. Yeah, Friday 10 to 12.
On Friday.
10 to 12. And yeah, in that session, guys, we're going to be running through the basic tools of the software. We're going to be doing a little photo slideshow just to get used to the tools, and also in case you wanted to do like a little photo slideshow of some pictures you've took, or family photo album, anything like that. And then we are going to just make a basic title, learn how to put music on a video, and that would be that for that session. Second session, we're going to be cutting some actual footage, maybe from a short film, and make like a little video together. So yeah, just stay tuned for that, guys. And then also from 4 to 5, we have another Staying Connected with a special guest, I believe. So
is that on Friday?
Friday 5,
afternoon, yeah.
That's the one.
Cool. I think that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that the end screen on that we've been putting on with all the helpful information that we sort of pulled together. I'll flick to it now so I can actually see what's on it. So there's advice on if you're struggling with your mental health, for more information regarding COVID-19, and there's some domestic abuse. If you're struggling with domestic abuse, there's some links and numbers on there as well. I believe that link that I've just put in the description of the video, let me double check before I say it and it's not true, because I don't want to be fake news.
Nasty. That's a
I
nasty
don't
question.
want to be nasty either. I definitely don't want to be nasty. Can't be no one can be storming out.
Yeah.
Where's it gone? I'll make sure it's in there if not, but I think these are all PDFs that you can click. Yeah, so you can click on. So there's a PDF in there called mental health support numbers, and it's the same screen you're seeing now, but the links are clickable on it. So there's a link in the description that says supplementary learner info from our funders, and in that is a mental health support numbers.pdf, which has clickable links to those websites, and you can also copy and paste the numbers off there as well. So check those out if you are struggling, or if you want to pass them on to someone who you know is. That'd be great and muchly appreciated.
Yeah, sure. Right, why not, right?
Muchly appreciated. As will be the quick one, because we are running out of time. It was the GoFundMe, wasn't it? That I needed to mention. Did I need to, was it GoFundMe? Oh God, it's just given.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
I mean, they're very similar. So.
Oh God. The page won't load now. Yeah, we're at 90% of that, so if you guys could share that as well. In fact, don't worry about it, I'll sort it out. I'll put it on a post on Facebook at some point as a little update. So yeah, that'll be muchly appreciated as well. So there's the links. Take them in. I'll leave the stream on for a few minutes so you guys can jot them down if you want. I'll pass them on to someone. Cool. They're also in the description in that supplementary learner information one as well. Quick little check of the chat. Matthew's just saying he's had MP3 files sent to him before where I've had to reduce the volume by like 173 decibels before opening them just because I don't trust them. Yeah, you definitely want to listen to everything you get sent on one volume before you turn it up because you don't want to get caught out. Yeah, it's either that or it's the we'll call it adult noise that everyone gets caught out with on Facebook.
Oh, man.
I've heard a few people get caught out with that one. So yeah, be careful.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Not as much of it left, but never mind.
Enjoy. Cool. Get that unlimited exercise.
Get yourself out and about. The Jarrah. Anthony will be out and about tomorrow again, hopefully, and hopefully everyone enjoys watching the football if you get around to it when it's on.
That's the one, guys. See you tonight. Bundesliga soon.
Be class, man. Right, guys. Cheers for coming and joining in, and we'll see you tomorrow or maybe Friday.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.
Cool.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.